Today we're going to be covering the 5 things that I love about my van. What's going on, everyone? Back with another episode of Stuff and Things. If you're new here, my name is Talon and I make new videos every single week. So if you're into adventures and traveling and all sorts of other stuff and things, then consider clicking subscribe. We're going to be jumping into things I like and dislike about my van today. So if you want some background information on that, then you can go back through and check out the van playlist for all of the information that will preface a video like this about my van. So with all of that being said, let's jump into the 5 things that I love about my van. So for the first thing that I love about my van, this is something that some people might find controversial if you're into the whole van life thing, but my van initially was a turnkey option. The reason I love this about the van is because it makes it very easy to get into a van like this and it expedites your travels. I've mentioned this before in video, but if I were to take a 4x4 Sprinter van like this and then outfit it with all of the functionality that this van came with when it was stock, it would not only cost me a lot of time, and my time of course is money, but it would also cost me a lot more money than just a turnkey option like this would cost. Now granted, when you go with something like this, the quality may not be up to your par. However, a lot of the stuff is warranted through the different manufacturers where the parts are sourced from. And I've actually spec'd out a van almost identical to this if I were to outfit it myself or outfit it through one of those boutique van outfitters. And if I were to go those other routes, it would cost me probably like 6 months worth of time and labor. And if I were to go through one of the outfitters, it would cost me significantly more money. We're talking like 30, 40, 50, sometimes up to like $70,000 more than I paid for something like this. So turnkey option, it's not for everyone, but for me, it's something that I love because I of course have customized it after the fact to make it my own. Now for the second thing that I love about my van. It is 4-wheel drive, it is ultra reliable, and it is pretty damn simple. I've owned this van for about 2 years now, and I of course have been traveling in it almost full time this entire year. I have between 35 and 40,000 miles on it right now. I've taken it coast to coast, and I've been to almost every state in America so far. First, I'll hit on the reliability. Mercedes-Benz and these motors, if taken care of correctly, can be extremely reliable. We're talking hundreds of thousands of miles. These motor blocks are good for, and as long as you take care of it, this thing will definitely take care of you. Now, I've been taking great care of it. The only thing that I dislike about it is actually the DEF system. Out of 40,000 miles and traveling to remote locations just like you see me in right now, that is the only thing that has ever failed on me, and since it was covered under warranty and replaced by Mercedes-Benz, I have not had any issues. So from my experience and a lot of others out there who own Mercedes Sprinters, they can be extremely reliable as long as you take care of them. Now for the 4-wheel drive system, if you guys watch where I take this van and the things I do with it, you will know that I use the hell out of this van. I'm pushing this thing pretty close to its limits, and I of course have set those limits a little bit higher because of the modifications that I've done to it. But the 4-wheel drive systems on the Mercedes Sprinter vans is actually very, very good. It's gotten me out of sticky situations, it's gotten me into sticky situations as well. And thanks to that 4-wheel drive system, it allows me to park the van for the night in places like this. Now for the third thing in this category is the simplicity of it. This is not the newest body style of the Mercedes Sprinter line. This is actually a 2018 model, and because of that, it doesn't have a lot of the new bells and whistles that come with the 19 up to the 21s. The interior of the van from the hood back to the front doors, it's pretty much just a cargo van. They even have the little clip to put paperwork for delivery drivers in the front. All of that stuff is super simple. I do have a few smart features like lane detection and impact collision detection, blind spot assist and stuff like that, but for the most part it is very simplistic, and that is something that I like. When you get into a newer model, you're going to have a lot more tech in them, and of course tech is something that can be outdated very quickly, and it's something that once malfunctions can be very difficult to service yourself. So those of you who are familiar with the whole keep it simple stupid method, this is pretty damn simple when it comes to a van. Now for the third thing that I love about my van, this is of course me being very biased, but it's all of the modifications that I've done to it. If you want to check out the entire video of how this van is set up at this current moment, you can check out the link in the corner right up there. Essentially, I have overhauled the entire van, both inside and out. I would say that the way the van sits right now is about 33.3 repeating, 40% turnkey, and then the remaining 66.6 repeating percent has all been modified or changed in some way by myself. So I have the full custom suspension package, I have the bumper and lighting accessories up front, I have a winch, I have an ARB twin air compressor under there, I have accessories like max tracks and a Wii boost and the ladder. I've upgraded the tires, the rear tire carrier, a GLSS system in the rear. That thing provides a lot more living space, and I've even upgraded or sort of changed the S-bar heating system. That is something that is super nerdy, but it's probably one of my favorite modifications that I've done to the van. So I'm not gonna go any more into depth on why this van is kick-ass the way that I have it set up, because of course I've tailored it to myself and the things that I do with it. Again, if you wanna know more about that stuff, check out the link up in the corner, but the modifications are definitely one of the top things that I love about my van. And now for the fourth thing that I love about the van, the size. This is a Mercedes Sprinter 2500, the 144-inch wheelbase. It's also a high roof option, so I can obviously stand up inside, and this is the shortest, smallest Sprinter that they make. The reason I love that it is a 144 is because it is about 19 feet long, and it allows me to park in most regular parking spots. When you get into the 170 wheelbases, you're adding a couple extra feet out the back of the van, and when you're navigating cities, parking spots, pretty much anywhere you're driving, it makes it a lot more cumbersome to drive. Now, I'm not saying that the 170s can't get you to places like this right here, because I'm sure, depending on the driver, it could get you to a place like this. But when it comes to parking in a normal parking spot, say at the gym or at a grocery store, a 177 is gonna make your life way more difficult. This packs so much functionality in there that I'm not actually missing out on anything. And the size for one person, just myself, it makes it very comfortable. I can sit at my bench editing on videos, and then I can turn and reach my fridge with my right hand, pull a drink out, don't even have to move around. So little things like that make it pretty cool, and that's why I love the size of the van. And now this list could be extremely extensive, but we're gonna top this one off with number 5, the fifth thing that I love about the van. This should probably really be the first thing, and that is the freedom that having a van like this provides me. Over the past couple of years, I of course have been making some pretty wild decisions, some really big life-changing decisions, and buying this van was probably one of the best decisions that I've ever made. I've been setting myself up to have more and more freedom, being independent and working for myself, paving my own way, starting my own company. And with doing all of this, the only other thing that can really bring more freedom than working for yourself is being able to travel and go wherever you want, as long as your work allows that. So the freedom that this van gives me is just incredible. I wouldn't change it for the world. There are a lot of people, especially nowadays, who are looking to get into van life and RV life. They're trying to travel around the country because everyone has been locked up at home a lot recently. And I 100% understand where all of you guys are coming from. I know a lot of people watch these videos to live vicariously through people like me and others who are doing the same, and there is a reason for that. A lot of people crave freedom, and it doesn't get much more free than traveling around to all 50 states in the United States of America with no timeline, no crazy restrictions. You can just sort of live your life and do whatever you want, whenever you want. So those are the 5 things that I love about my van. I could go into depth and make this video like 2 hours long and just rant and rave about how much I love this thing. But there are also some things that I hate about the van. So if you want to find out the things that I hate about the van, you can check out the link right up there in the corner. And of course, if you guys have any questions on anything that I mentioned here, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to chat it up with you guys and answer anything that I possibly can. So again, if you are new to this channel, consider clicking subscribe because I make new videos every single week. As always, thank you guys very much for watching, and I will talk to you in the next one.